destruction, havoc, doom, the dark side of the powerful beings called Pokémon. What would happen if they were to rise up against humanity? That's what we're going to explore in this video. To explore our alternate reality, we have to go as far back as the first Pokémon movie. As you probably know, at the end of the movie, Ash and other trainers were able to convince Mewtwo that everybody has their worth, whether they're clones or originals. Mewtwo then erased the memories of the events he had caused and flew into the sky with his clone Pokémon. Later in the show, we find that Mewtwo settled with his clone Pokémon on Mount Quena to find peace for them. But here, we add a small twist to the original show to make it more interesting. After helping his clone friends, Mewtwo continues to wander through the world alone and contemplate the relationship between humans and Pokémon. Traveling across the region, Mewtwo sees a lot, from trainer battles to Pokémon hunting, and everything he saw and experienced with Team Rocket leads him to one question. How come Pokémon voluntarily submit to humans when they are clearly the superior ones? Most of them are clearly stronger than humans, and some are even far more intelligent. However, they continue to let themselves be caught and controlled by their trainers. Mewtwo's obsession with power and his status as a man-made Pokémon led him to the conclusion that he is the chosen one, the one who shall end humanity's rule and show the superiority of Pokémon. And so, the first Pokémon uprising has begun. Now, let's look at what is happening on the human side of the world. Ash and his friends have just arrived at Goldenrod City and challenged the gym for Ash's third badge in the Johto League. After finding the gym is temporarily closed, they've decided to explore the city, with their first destination being the Goldenrod Galleria. As the sun starts to set, Ash and his friends are exhausted from the whole day of sightseeing and need a place to spend the night. But then suddenly, boom! A giant explosion echoed through Goldenrod City, and soon there's another one, and another one. While most people on the streets start panicking, our hero Ash decides to run straight in the direction of the explosions. As he's getting closer to the explosions, everybody else runs in the opposite direction. Hearing the explosions louder and louder together with the sirens, Ash starts to feel fear. During this time, there's one more person currently approaching Goldenrod City, someone nobody is expecting to come. As Ash finally reaches the street where the explosions were coming from, he is completely dismayed by what's in front of him. The crumbling skyscrapers, shattered glass, and everything burning evoke an apocalyptic atmosphere. There is a massive army of hundreds of Pokémon rampaging through the city. And this army is led by none other than Mewtwo, who has spent the last few months preparing for this attack. He gathered many strong wild Pokémon and manipulated them into joining him. He then chose his first target to show Pokémon's true power. And what better target than the largest metropolis in the region, Goldenrod City? The current situation looks dire. Although the police managed to evacuate most of the city, they are helpless against the army of Pokémon destroying the city. Charizards are burning down the roofs fiercely from the sky. Onyxes are crushing the buildings to dust on the ground. Tentacruels are causing absolute havoc on the seaside. And of course, there's Mewtwo blasting everything around him. Ash is just standing there, having no idea what to do against such a threat. But then, he notices something weird. A helicopter is flown directly into the chaos and is trying to land in front of Mewtwo. As Mewtwo prepares to shoot down the helicopter, one of his memories surfaces. He's already experienced something like this before. A man in a suit steps out of the helicopter. Our unexpected visitor finally arrives. It's Giovanni, the leader of Team Rocket. Thanks to Mewtwo's activities in the past few months, Team Rocket was able to pinpoint his location. After all the time he's been trying to find him since he escaped, Giovanni is now ready to catch him again. Mewtwo's smart enough to know that Giovanni will try to manipulate and control him somehow, but at the same time, he's curious why Giovanni looks so confident despite being unarmed. Giovanni slowly approaches Mewtwo and opens the conversation by asking him why he's doing this. Although Mewtwo is suspicious of the man, he proceeds to explain his whole ideology. Everything from the oppression of Pokémon in the world to their superiority to humanity. During Mewtwo's monologue, the whole army has proceeded further into the city, and now the two are completely alone, surrounded by debris of what once was a part of the city. Mewtwo ends his monologue by stating that Giovanni is the prime example of what he's fighting against. But Giovanni's response was completely unexpected, as he just starts laughing excessively. Mewtwo's inner rage is slowly building up, and he's getting ready to wipe Giovanni from the earth. After laughing, Giovanni ends their conversation with one sentence: "You are wrong. Humanity is the superior one." At this exact moment, 2 missiles hit unprepared Mewtwo in the back. Giovanni continues by releasing 6 strong Pokémon like his Rhydon and Magmar to attack Mewtwo simultaneously. While Mewtwo is a bit injured after the surprise attack, he doesn't have much problem handling the opposing Pokémon. But the situation is unfolding according to Giovanni's plan, as everything has been merely a distraction. Suddenly, a giant cage drops directly on Mewtwo from the second helicopter, which shot the missiles earlier. Mewtwo tries to set himself free immediately. But what is this? His psychic powers aren't working at all. Seeing Mewtwo's reaction, Giovanni smugly explains his revolutionary cutting-edge technology developed solely to capture him by weakening his psychic powers. But Giovanni miscalculated about one thing. Ash, who was sneaking nearby, overheard the whole conversation and saw their fight, and now he finally shows up and commands Giovanni to let Mewtwo go. Giovanni, taken aback by Ash's words, asks him if he's aware that Mewtwo is the one leading this uprising. Ash responds by saying they are both wrong about the world. He turns to Mewtwo and says that Pokemon and humans should live in harmony and that Pokemon choose to obey their trainers willingly. But Giovanni, having no time to waste, orders his Magmar to use smokescreen on Ash and boards his helicopter. By the time Ash is able to comprehend what's happening, you can only see the 2 helicopters with the cage flying away in the distance. He falls to his knees, feeling helpless because he wasn't able to do anything to resolve the conflict. I mean, what would you do in Ash's shoes? Would you try to help Mewtwo escape or let him go? Share your answers in the comments. During all of this, something interesting was happening on the other side of the city. All trainers in the city are united under the leadership of Whitney, the Goldenrod gym leader, and are fighting off the army of Pokemon together. Even Brock and Misty joined them, both hoping Ash would be alright. And although the trainers are at a clear disadvantage in terms of sheer numbers, their coordination gives them an edge over the chaotic army of Pokemon. What's more, many of the rebelling Pokemon, seeing the cooperation between trainers and their Pokemon, are slowly realizing that they had been manipulated by Mewtwo. To prevent further destruction, some are even joining the trainers. And after a long and exhausting fight, the situation has finally improved. In the end, trainers were able to stop the destruction of the whole city. As the dust settles and the chaos subsides, half of Goldenrod is left in ruins. Most of the rebelling Pokemon fled the city, but some of them, after changing their minds, wanted to stay to help undo the damage they'd done. Soon after, Ash is able to reunite with his friends, and both groups are sharing what's happened. Ash feels bitter about the whole incident since he basically did nothing. If only he could show both Giovanni and Mewtwo that they're both wrong, that Pokemon and humans can live in harmony. But there's nothing he can do now except give the police all the information he has. But despite Ash's report, the police can't reveal the truth to the public as it would result in civil unrest. And that is the end of the first Pokemon uprising. The incident that shook the entire world strained the relationship between humans and Pokemon. People were now much more aware of the dangers Pokemon could pose. The news referring to the cause of the incident as unexplained wasn't helping the situation. But on the other side, the heroic acts of the trainers defending the city led many to believe that a harmonic relationship between humans and Pokemon is possible. As for Ash and his friends, they spent a few more days in Goldenrod, helping rebuild the city. However, they eventually moved on to continue on their journey. After all of this, Ash still hopes to meet Mewtwo and Giovanni again, and prove to them that Pokemon and humans are equal. And where are Giovanni and Mewtwo? Who knows? Maybe Giovanni has a grand plan to take over the world, and with Mewtwo's powers under his belt again, he might be able to do so. But we can explore that idea next time, because this is where the video ends today. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Check out our other What If videos, and as always, have a great one.